Hey everyone, and welcome to this absolutely fascinating explainer where we're going to unlock the hidden capabilities of what is, without a doubt, the most advanced piece of technology on the planet. And yeah, I'm talking about the human body. Just think about it for a second. You live inside this amazing machine every single day, but there is just so much happening right under your skin that you've probably never even realized. So today we're going deep into the incredible facts, the science, and honestly, the sheer wonder of our own biology.
Okay, let's dive into this agenda. First, we're covering the secrets of the outer body. Then we'll travel inward to explore the brain and our senses. After that, we'll look at the mind-blowing numbers behind the body's amazing capacity. And finally, we'll wrap up with the heart and life cycle. All right, let's kick things off with Section 1, Secrets of the Outer Body.
So, you know how if you spend way too much time in the bath or swimming pool, your fingers and toes get all pruny and wrinkly? Or say you're watching a really scary movie, or you hear a sudden loud noise, and the hair on your arms just stands straight up? Have you ever actually stopped to wonder why our bodies automatically do these things?
Well, here are the answers, and they really prove that our body is just constantly adapting. Research shows that those wrinkles on your fingers are actually a brilliant evolutionary treat. They act a lot like the treads on a car tire to help improve your grip on objects when it's wet. Crazy, right? And goosebumps? That's just an adrenaline reaction triggered by stress, fear, or even a sudden thrill. Oh, and those little white spots you might occasionally spot on your fingernails? That's literally your body's built-in warning system, alerting you to a potential iron or calcium deficiency. Your body is always talking to you, you just have to listen. Now, what's really interesting about this next slide is this huge number, 500,000. According to the International Hyperhidrosis Society, that's the staggering number of sweat glands we have in our bodies, primarily packed onto our feet, hands, and forehead. Get this, a single foot can have around 125,000 glands. But here's a kind of funny, fascinating biological difference. Females actually tend to have mostly closed sweat glands on the bottom of their feet compared to males. And honestly, that simple biological fact is the main reason why male feet are generally a bit more prone to noticeable odors. Moving right along, let's get into Section 2, Brain and Our Senses. Take a look at this. A staggering 73% of the human brain is composed entirely of water. This highlights exactly why staying hydrated is so incredibly crucial to our survival and, our everyday cognitive function. By the time you actually start feeling thirsty, your brain is already feeling the physical impact of that water loss. Now, think about this massive contrast. Your brain makes up a tiny 2% of your total body weight. Yet it sits up there and aggressively consumes up to 30% of your body's total oxygen intake. Because it's responsible for controlling literally everything you do, think, and feel, it's an absolute energy hog. It requires constant, massive amounts of fuel just to keep you functioning. Okay, let me pose another question to you. Imagine you're in a super heavy, deep sleep. If someone placed something terribly foul-smelling right next to your bed, do you think it would wake you up? The answer is no, it absolutely wouldn't. Sleep studies have totally proven that when a human is in deep sleep, no smell, whether it's awful or wonderful, will wake them up. Actually, researchers found they could wake subjects with noise, movement, or light, but smell simply did not register at all to the sleeping brain. Oh, and while we're talking about our senses, here's a fun bonus fact for you. Just like your fingerprints, the print of your tongue is entirely unique to you out of everyone in the whole world. Who knows, maybe one day we'll literally be unlocking our phones with our tongues? And this brilliantly illustrates how our physical traits naturally differ across our biology. Females biologically have the ability to perceive a wider variety of color shades, while males have a noticeably higher statistical risk of color blindness. Also, because of eye physiology, females blink quite a bit more frequently, around 18 to 20 times a minute compared to just 11 to 12 times for males. And just looking at purely anatomical averages, a male tongue measures about 3.3 inches, while a female's is around 3.1 inches. It's just so fascinating to see these natural biological variations side by side. All right, let's ramp things up with Section 3, the body's amazing capacity. 30,000 kilograms. That is the absolutely staggering amount of food an average, healthy human being is going to consume by the time they reach 70 years of age. I mean, it takes a monumental amount of fuel to keep the human machine running over a lifetime, and your digestive system is there processing every single bite of it. So, the crucial point here is understanding just how delicately balanced that system is, especially when it comes to water. If you lose water equal to just 1% of your body weight, which is a pretty small drop, like less than 5 liters in a 50-kilogram person, your body immediately triggers a feeling of intense thirst. It's basically a loud warning bell going off. But if that water loss reaches 10%, the effects become highly dangerous and pose a very real fatal risk. We're incredibly durable, sure, but we definitely operate within some very strict biological limits. Now, for a slightly more bizarre thought experiment, we've all been super annoyed by a mosquito taking a tiny sip of our blood, right? But how many mosquitoes would it actually take biting you all at the exact same time to completely drain a human body of its blood? 2 million. Yeah, you heard that right. A single mosquito only absorbs about 0.01 milliliters of blood at a time. So to completely drain an average human, you would literally need an apocalyptic swarm of 2 million mosquitoes biting you simultaneously. No thank you.
Let's look at a very specific and kind of surprising study from the American Journal of Public Health back in 1989. This data showed that left-handed individuals had an average lifespan about 9 months shorter than right-handed individuals. Now, why would that be? Well, the researchers pointed out it wasn't biological at all, but environmental. The vast majority of everyday objects, tools, and machinery in our world are designed specifically for right-handed use. Historically, that led to a higher rate of fatal accidents among left-handed people simply trying to navigate a right-handed world.
Let's fire through some more amazing facts about our physical capacity, because these are wild. First, the masseter muscle in your jaw is so remarkably strong it can generate enough force to lift 90 kilograms of weight. Second, a passionate 10-second kiss transfers over 80 million bacteria. But hey, don't worry, these are primarily beneficial bacteria that can actually boost your immune system. And third, an average person will walk approximately 170,000 kilometers in their lifetime. That is literally the equivalent of walking completely around the Earth 4 times. And as a quick tip, walking just 30 minutes a day is fantastic for keeping body fat down and staying fit. Let's move to our final section and see how this all comes together. Section 4, the heart and life cycle. You know, we start out incredibly fragile. At birth, a baby's entire body contains roughly just 1 single cup of blood. And have you ever noticed that newborns cry really loudly but don't produce any actual tears? That's simply because their tear ducts are still physically developing in those early stages. Meanwhile, as we age, 2 parts of our face, our ears and our nose, never actually stop growing, from childhood all the way to old age. That's exactly why our facial appearance continuously evolves over our entire lifetime. Okay, check out this fascinating concept, residual lung volume. No matter how hard you exhale or how completely you try to push all the air out, your body purposefully traps about 1 liter of oxygen inside your lungs permanently. It's a vital survival mechanism to keep your lungs from collapsing. And a slightly morbid but scientifically amazing side effect of this is that if human lungs were placed in a pool, they would naturally float on the water just like a balloon. But listen, nothing compares to the absolute powerhouse of the human body. 9,000 liters. That is the sheer, mind-boggling volume of blood that the human heart pumps every single day. To move 9,000 liters of fluid around, the heart has to be incredibly strong. In fact, it generates enough internal pressure that it could theoretically shoot a stream of blood 30 feet into the air. Interestingly, female hearts naturally beat at a slightly faster pace than male hearts do. But honestly, the most awe-inspiring fact is its relentless dedication. From the very moment it forms in the womb down to the very last second of your life, the human heart never, ever takes a break. Not for a single second. So I want to leave you with this final thought. You are walking around inside an absolute masterpiece of biology. You're capable of lifting incredible weights, enduring harsh environments, and powering yourself relentlessly. With a machine this exceptionally powerful right at your command, how far will your personal 170,000-kilometer journey take you today? Keep learning, keep exploring, and definitely never underestimate the amazing vessel you live in. See you next time.